Welcome to Life in Alignment, the podcast for men looking to balance career ambition with personal fulfillment. Hosted by Naphtali Anderson, certified executive coach, trainer, and speaker. With a background in engineering and a passion for the arts, Naphtali has successfully navigated the corporate world since 2006, having led multiple teams and leadership programs. In each episode, we dive deep into the challenges and triumphs of finding meaning and happiness while navigating the fast-paced corporate world, all geared towards overcoming the challenges you face as a man. We explore confidence, leadership, and emotional mastery, providing actionable insights and real-life examples to help you thrive. If you've wanted alignment in your life, this is your podcast. Join us as we uncover the secrets to achieving inner peace, strong relationships, and authentic self-expression. Here's your host, Naphtali Anderson.
All right, so here's the thing. This is one thing that I always get bothered by. Well, I mean, I guess I get a bit frustrated with it. Sometimes I get these requests from LinkedIn and they ask me to give my input on a topic. And typically it's about dealing with teams of some sort, leading some team, remote team, whatever type of team. And everyone, in there, they share their tactics, the little things that they would do. And it's all, good and well. And I answer every once in a while. I don't do it all the time. But my answers always follow a certain theme. And that's, I think, partially why I don't always answer all the time, because the answers are similar. It always comes down to treating the team like unique, individual human beings. Because to me, leadership is not a tactic. And the more I look around, it seems like people want leadership to just be some kind of tactic, a 5-step program that you can just use with all your employees or direct reports or whatever else, certain phrases that you can say that will make you a leader, and people just seem to fall in love and want to follow you, which is a bunch of nonsense. Leadership is a state of being. It's a state of being. Now, you may be able to use tactics to enhance, your effectiveness as a leader. But if you're not a leader inside, then they will sniff you out. It won't last too long. They will be able to tell that you're not leading. It's all a charade. And guess what? This is not just for the office. This is also at home. Okay, just because you have the highest rank does not make you the leader. It may make you a boss, a manager, something like that, but that does not make you actually a leader. When you lead, there's a certain amount of respect that you're given, because that respect is actually earned. Okay, when you lead, people actually want to follow you by choice, okay, not by force, not because they have to, not because they're under you in the hierarchy, but they actually truly have a desire to follow you. That's what makes a leader. There is no leader if nobody wants to actually truly follow you. And that can only happen when you embody the essence of a leader. And I think it's funny sometimes, because people love to complain about the younger generation. Millennials don't like to work, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Now, I've managed people that are in older generations and in younger generations. And I've found people on both ends of the spectrum that honestly don't want to work. So I don't really think it's a generational thing. But I would ask you to think about this. Maybe people just don't want to follow you. Maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not really a millennial problem. Maybe people just don't want to follow. I've had the opportunity to lead, like I said, a few different teams, which a lot of them consisted of millennials in a corporate environment. And I've had many of them tell me how much I've had an impact on their lives personally and professionally. But that was because I led people. I didn't see them as just employees, workers, direct reports. I saw them as people first. So I led them as people. The old school way of just acting robotic and doing everybody doing what they're told to do without question is kind of just drifted away. It's not that same game anymore. So now managers can't just be leaders just because of their title, because everybody listens to them because that's what they have to do. We're in a different generation where people actually want to be treated like human beings. They want to be seen as human beings. They want to feel like they're actually truly bringing value, and the people that they work with, the people that are supposed to be leading them, actually value them. They don't want to feel like just another cog in the wheel anymore. It's not what this generation wants. There's a difference between people following a title versus following a person. So let's talk about what a leader really is. Let's talk about that for a minute. Right? I have some characteristics that I want to share. Right? Leaders, they dare to connect on a personal level. They don't have to get too personal, but they do want to have that connection with the person, because leaders earn trust. And that has to happen on a more so of a personal level. Leaders are empathetic. They're able to actually understand and feel what the other person may be feeling or may be going through. Leaders show vulnerability, okay, when it's needed. Leaders protect, they look out for their team. You can never expect a team to have your back if they don't believe that you actually have their back. But also, leaders hold the line of expectations and standards, right? They're living as the example. Just because a leader connects on a personal level and they're empathetic and they're vulnerable does not mean that everything becomes buddy, everything's perfect all the time. Yay, sunshine and rainbows. There's still things that need to be done. There's still expectations that need to be lived up to. There's still standards that need to be held. That doesn't change. But when you actually lead, your team is more apt to actually live up to those standards and expectations, because there's going to be an essence personally that they actually want to make you proud because they respect you as a leader. But hey, maybe you are the ideal leader in the office. Maybe you have it down packed and people love to follow you. People love to be on your team. But how about at home? As a father, as a husband, son, etc. How do you measure up with that same list? Do you manage your home or do you actually lead it? Do you take the time to really connect, to show vulnerability? Do you actually earn trust, or do you just expect it because you're the man of the house? Do you set standards in the home, and are you actually truly living as that example of the standards that you're trying to set? Again, true leadership, it comes from the inside. Leaders want the best for the people that they lead personally. They want the best for each individual that follows them while creating some desired result, right? Managers, they simply just want the result. They could care less about the people. Leaders can pull the best out of their teams. Managers usually get just enough. They may get the job done, but nothing more. Leaders come from the heart, and that's why it can't be replaced by tactics. Again, tactics support, but they don't create a leader. So if you're having issues, right, in the home or in the office, sometimes you may have to ask yourself, am I managing or am I leading? And keep in mind, a stressed out leader can easily turn into a manager because honestly, he's struggling to manage his stress. He's struggling to manage himself. So he can't necessarily lead anybody. He can only manage at that point. He's just managing to hold it together. Right? We have to lead ourselves before we can lead others. But this is why I focus so much on self mastery. This is why I built the Inner Chamber Mastery program. You master yourself, then you master your world. This is why we talk about being in control and being aware of your emotions. The more that we have that self-awareness of everything that's going on within ourselves, the more we can show up with that empathy and that connection for others, because we can start to understand where they are coming from and speak from a place of authentic truth leading to connection. And people feel that. And when people feel that you actually care, then they're open to being led by you. But if it always comes down to just tactics, if it always comes down to just responsibility, then that's just management, and there will always be a disconnect. If it always comes down to, well, this is supposed to happen, they are supposed to do this, etc., then you can never step into a place of true leadership. Leaders lead people. And we can only lead people by being heart-centered. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. And that concludes another episode of the Life in Alignment podcast. And this is Naphtali Anderson saying good morning, good day, good night, and be blessed, my people.